Dale Smith Thomas is an unapologetic optimist and a woman whose passion for making a difference is stamped in every page of her life. Her direct and powerful message has challenged and inspired hundreds of thousands of people around the world to make winning choices in every area of their life. She is the president and founder of Winners by Choice Incorporated, but you may recognize her from one of her many national television appearances because her message and her work has been featured as a featured guest on The Dr. Phil Show, The Big Idea on CNBC and CMT, and she was featured on a documentary on the Travel Channel. She's even hosted two of Hollywood's most famous in her home, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, for a Fox television show. Dale has been inspiring audiences around the world for the past 19 years for clients including Million Dollar Roundtable, McDonald's, Allstate, the Miss Universe organization owned by Donald Trump, Turner Broadcasting, Hilton, Sprint, and many, many more. From her rural upbringing in North Mississippi to stages around the world, Dale's message continues to empower, enlighten, and educate. Here to share how choices create champions, Ms. Dale Smith Thomas.
Hey guys! Wow! Wow! Hold on. Did you get a good picture? Good. Hey y'all! Well, I can tell y'all right now, Warren said that y'all would know he's from New York. You can tell I am not. I was born and raised in North Mississippi, so this is a Southern accent, and welcome to Louisville, Kentucky. Hasn't tonight just been amazing? Let's hear it for all these champions who's taken the stage tonight. I have been sitting backstage, and I am just honored to be in the presence of so many champions here tonight, and that's what we're talking about. But you know what? I am standing here looking at a room full of champions. I want you to go ahead and give yourselves a hand clap right now because you are champions or you would not be in this room right now. Because let me tell you this, champions are not magically blessed or dramatically different. They have simply decided to put to work in their life a different set of skills. You could have decided not to be here tonight, but because you are a champion, you are here. You are here to learn and to grow, and you are in the greatest business in the world, right? You are the greatest business in the world with the greatest people, the greatest leadership, the greatest products. Tonight, I'm just going to share a few ideas with you from the bottom of my heart that I'm going to share with you, and I hope that you will go back and put them to work into your life and to share them with others. You've learned so many great things already tonight, and this whole weekend, you're going to have so many ideas. And I learned something from one of my mentors years ago that I'm going to share with you that I hope that you will implement into your life. I learned it from a man named Jim Rohn. And I know that many of you may know the teachings of Jim Rohn, but he says we need to study, we need to practice, and we need to teach. I'm going to challenge you to take the material that you're getting here this weekend, study it, see if it rings true for you, practice it in your life, and then teach it to your downline, teach it to the people that are coming into your business. And in that, you will begin to nurture and build champions. Okay, before we get into that information, I have to give y'all a little history of where I come from. I was born and raised at Route 3, Box 89, Eupora, Mississippi. My parents are still there on the farm, and I grew up dirt poor. Does anybody know what that is other than me? Thank you. All right. Y'all, Mom and Daddy are still on the farm, and my daddy has got every car we have ever owned. You can y'all, you can't see it because there's grass around it, but if you cut the grass at Route 3, you will find a car. Now, growing up really, really poor in Mississippi, y'all, this is my biggest dream. There are more people in this room than are in my entire county. And so the fact that I am standing here on this stage is a miracle. Look, if I can do this, y'all can be in Diamond. You can go Diamond in like 2 or 3 months, I promise you. So I grew up in this environment where we didn't talk about champions. I didn't know what a champion was, really. And I thought because I grew up poor, I would always be poor. But let me tell you something that I hope you will anchor in your soul. It is not your conditions that determine your destiny. It is your decisions that determine your destiny. And it's a decision that puts you in this room. It is a decision that puts you in this business. It is a decision that will take you on this stage, change your life, and take you to financial freedom. Are you ready to do that? All right. Well, my mother and daddy had a vision of success for me. And if you're from the South, you already know what that was. My mama just wanted me to get married. And y'all, I live so far out in the country, no boy was ever coming after me, so that didn't work out. And so I decided to be the very first person in my family to go to college. And by the grace of God, I got a scholarship. I went to Mississippi State University. And yeah, thank you, whoever's clapping for Mississippi State. I went to Mississippi State University. First of all, my name is Dale, D-A-L-E. Yes, it is my daddy's name. So when I went over to Mississippi State, I sat down with my advisor. My advisor looked at me and he said, "Young lady, we've got quite a problem." I said, "What is it?" He said, "They've looked at your name and they have put you in the boys' dorm." I went, "Yes! That's fabulous." I said, "That is fabulous." He said, "You don't think you're going to stay there, do you?" I said, "Sir, you don't understand. Down that Route 3, my mama has been on her knees before God praying for me a husband, and the odds just went up. I might meet a boy." And he said, "Well, you're not going to stay in that dorm." And I said, "Well, you're messing with the will of God now, and that's kind of scary." He said, "Well, I'm going to have to take my chances with God." So anyway, they took me out of the dorm. Then I had another brilliant idea. I was going to get an education, the first person in my family. But I decided I needed to try to fulfill my mother's dream. So I decided that all the cute boys were in the physical education department, so that's where I went. Why are y'all laughing? You don't even know me yet. But I can tell you this, the only thing that runs on me is my mouth, nothing else. I have no business in the physical education department. I couldn't dribble a ball if you put a gun to my head. And so, by the grace of God, I worked really hard, and I have a degree from Mississippi State University in physical education, all right now? Okay, here's the good part. I have never coached a day in my life, but for tonight, I am your coach, all right? And when I ask you something, you need to humor me a little bit because I don't hear these words often. When I ask you something with a great LTD enthusiasm, I want you to say, "Yes, coach." Can you do that? Let me hear you.
Yes, coach.
Wow. All right, here is your big question. As champions, would you like for the next 12 months of your life, would you like for it to be the best year ever? Would you like to be better looking, more successful, have the biggest team ever in the next year? Would you like that to happen?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, here's the big question. Are you willing to do whatever it's going to take to make that happen? Oh, he jumped the gun. Good for you. I like this group. Okay, let's let the rest of them catch up, okay? All right. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to be a champion in the next 12 months? Let me hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? Most of the time, because y'all are different and special, and I love it, I've been around this business a very long time, and I just can't even tell you. You are in store for so many awesome things. So many people, when I say, "Are you willing to do whatever it takes around the world?" they look at me and say, "You mean I have to do something?" I said I wanted it. Wasn't that enough? If you want your life to get better, you have to get better. If you want your business to be better, you have to be better. That is why you are here this weekend. Coach Lou Holtz defined a champion. And I love the way Lou Holtz said this. He was asked, after winning one of his big mini national championships, they said, "Coach Holtz, what did you do to go out and win this national championship?" He said this, "We didn't go out to win the national championship. We simply went out to be our very best. And when you are your very best, you are a champion. Are you a champion? All right. Okay, I'm going to give you just a few ideas. It doesn't take thousands of ideas to change your life. It takes one you're going to put into action. I'm going to challenge you this weekend. Take one, just one, 10, but at least take one idea. Go back to your team, back into your life, and put it into action as a champion. You've already heard from Warren and Neil and Deanna and Cleve. The number one key to being a champion in life is having a championship attitude, right? Right. All right. I want you to remember this. A positive attitude is a choice. It is not an emotion. You have to act better if you are going to feel better. And that is what I love about you guys. I could feel your energy out in the expo this afternoon. And when somebody asks you how you're doing, I bet you don't say, I'm all right. You guys say you're awesome. Why wouldn't you be? You have the greatest products, the greatest business in the world. Why wouldn't you be awesome? And you know what? Everything about you needs to say that. From the minute you get up in the morning, you need to choose this championship attitude. Let me do a little attitude check because I love y'all. Okay, how many of y'all got up this morning, you looked in the mirror and you went, ooh, good morning, gorgeous champion. Anybody? Yeah. See, I love that. And ladies, it's always a man. The men go, well, of course I'm gorgeous. What is wrong with you, right? All right. You know, my son is 25. My son, Nick Thomas, is 25. And when Nick was 2 years old, you know, when we have 2-year-olds, what do we usually say? They're in their what? Terrible twos. And then you wonder why they're terrible. You have just planted that terrible seed. I told Nick Thomas, you were not in your terrible twos. You were in your terrific twos, whether you like it or not. Okay? So every morning when Nick Thomas would get out of bed, he would roll out of bed and he'd growl at me. And he'd put his little fat hands on his little fat hips. And he'd snarl his lip. And I'd look at him with love in my face. And I'd say, good morning, Nick Thomas. You can choose to be happy today. He'd go, I don't want to choose to be happy, Mama. Do you know these people? Say, yes, Coach. All right, every single day when you get up, you have a choice to make. An attitude is like a fire. I grew up with no central heat and air in my house. We had a fireplace. If you don't put wood on it, it does not burn. The same thing is true with your attitude. You have to feed it every single day. You feed your body, you have got to feed your soul. Nutritionalists have been telling us for years the most important meal of the day is breakfast. Did you also know that whatever you put into your brain the first 30 minutes of the day determines your productivity and your attitude for the rest of the day? If you are turning on the news or picking up the newspaper, that is your foundation. We have to change our foundation. That's why you have the expo. You have so many wonderful tools. That's why we as speakers and teachers and authors, we write books, we do CDs so we can help put this fuel back in your soul. I do a thing called Motivational Monday because so many people complain about Monday. What's your option? Not to have Monday? And so I started Motivational Monday. It's a free newsletter. Come by my table and you can sign up free every Monday. I will put something into your world to help motivate you. But this is your choice. Fuel your soul. As you heard, leaders are readers. Find something. Turn your car into a rolling university. Turn your car into a rolling university. Take the time to invest in yourself every single day, and then your attitude will begin to change. And you know what? I just read this study. Do you know that people with optimistic, positive attitudes live 7 to 10 years longer than the pessimists? Isn't that great? Say yes, Coach. All right. We are going to live long and prosper with our attitudes and the business, right? Yes, we are. Yes. All right. So your attitude, and I have such a short amount of time, your attitude, feed it every single day. feed it every day. There's an old Native American proverb, and this is so visual. I want you to think about this. This grandfather was teaching his grandson about life, and he said, "Grandson, inside your spirit are two dogs, or they represent two spirits. The dogs do. This dog represents hope and faith and victory and love and joy. And this dog represents hate and negativity and all the awful things in life." And as little boys do, he looked at his grandfather and he said, "Grandfather, which dog is stronger?" He said, "Whichever one you feed." What are you feeding? Tonight, you are feeding joy, prosperity, hope, and championship. Let's feed it every single day, okay? Say, "Yes, Coach." All right. Okay, secondly, champions have a championship language. They have a championship vocabulary. Even the Bible says that out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. Have you ever just listened to people? Just listen to people? If you walk around and listen to what they're saying, let me ask you this. Well, let me say this first. I grew up on a farm, and I believe that every word that you say to yourself, to your downline, to each other, to your family, they are seeds planted out there in the world, and they are going to come up. Let me ask you this. What if every single word you spoke out of your mouth the last 30 days instantly came true? Where would you be right now? Oh, it got awful quiet in here. A woman stood up in one of my seminars a couple of weeks ago. She said, "I'd be in jail." I looked at her and I said, "Did you tell your husband you were going to kill him?" She said, "Yep, sister, and I meant it too." All right, let me ask you this. I want you to complete these sentences. When it's just a little bit chilly, for me that'd be 60 because I'm a Southern girl. When it's a little bit cold, what do we say? "I am freezing too." Okay, little blocks of ice popping up everywhere. And then you say, if it's hot, "I am burning up in flames." Then you say, "Those kids are driving me. I'm about to pull my hair." All right, "I am working myself too. He is just a pain in the neck." Well, y'all, whatever. I'm going to pray for y'all. But I want you to think about it. Death, 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 death. You know, and as I come on stage, what do most people say? Break a... Right, I want to trip over my cute shoes and break a leg. No. And y'all, I was shopping the other day. That's my sport, just so y'all know. But anyway. That's right. Yes, Coach. But I am watching these two women, and they are watching each other, and they're watching this little girl come out of the dressing room. She's about this big. These women are ticked off. And they acted like she got skinny to make them mad. But anyway, we'll go on. That's another seminar. And so I'm watching these women, and this woman says to this woman, "If I never put another bite in my mouth, I won't be that skinny." And her girlfriend says, "Neither would I, but I'd give my right arm to be that skinny." Hey, she'd be armless, but she'd be skinny. What do you want? I want to know, are you talking about what you do want or what you don't want? We have got to start talking about what we do want. You know what? We can't control our circumstances, but we do control our reaction to them. So I am going to give you some transformational vocabulary to go back into your world. I want you to take it back to your family, to your downline, to your friends, to whoever you come in contact with. And they're going to go, "Now, where were you last weekend? Where did you learn that?" And just in case you forget, I have all of them on a postcard with my picture on it, okay? That's so you'll remember where you got it. And I'm a tired old beauty queen, and we put our pictures on everything. So anyway, we'll go on. I know. I open my mouth, it comes out. Okay, I want you to understand this. Motion creates emotion. I said that a minute ago. In this business, you're going to have to learn to sleep fast, okay? That's what we call that. When we're on limited time, we sleep fast. I want you to think about the last time you were angry with somebody. You were ticked off. Front row, give me a mad face real quick. That was a little too easy, my friend. I don't like that. Okay, let me tell you this. Most of the time, the things that make you mad or tick you off is something that happened like 10 years ago, and you're still dragging it with you. And you're still saying, I cannot believe they said that to me about the business. You know what? Let it go. Let it go. And you know what? Focusing on one episode of anger will depress your immune system for up to 7 hours. What you are thinking about is making you sick. And you know what? Everything in your life is created twice. Think about this. Between your ears and then between your hours. Everything is created twice. You're thinking about it and then you're putting it into action. So here's your new word. The next time somebody's on your last good nerve or you're angry or ticked off and you said, I am so angry, you get your postcard, you remember tonight, remember motion creates emotion, and you look at them because here in this business, we do things a new way with a new spirit. And you look at them and say, you know what? I'm not really angry with you, but I'm extremely disenchanted. Now you try that. You cannot stay mad and be disenchanted. And you know what? There are people that are going to disenchant you. Get over it. Get over it. Okay, how many of you have ever said this? Raise your hand. Don't you tell me a story. That's what my mom would say. All right, how many of you ever said this? I am so nervous. Maybe you're nervous about sharing the business. Maybe you're nervous about talking about the products. If you've ever said it, get your hands in the air, all the way up, all the way in the back. Hey, y'all, look. Look at all the hands. Let me tell you this. What happens to your body when you get nervous? You ever seen a speaker that's nervous and they're so nervous they make you nervous? Right? Because when you tell yourself you're nervous, your body goes, okay, let's do that. So you're all nervous about sharing the most fabulous products in the world. They're going to be nervous about getting in the business with you because you're so nervous, right? You ready for a new word? All right. The next time you're going out to share this fabulous opportunity about the fabulous products, about LTD, about this whole incredible weekend, you are not nervous. You are energized. Everybody say, I am energized. You should be so excited about sharing this opportunity that they should be begging you to tell them about it. They should look at you and go, I don't know what you've got, but I want it. And you know what? If you have that kind of energy, I have the best business. I have the best products. I have the best way of being financially free. If you feel that and embrace that, they're going to say, please tell me what that is. Is that what you want? Say, yes, coach. All right, let's get energized, okay? Let's get energized. And you know what? What you've got to learn is that victors, all of you victors, we talk to our mountains. Victims talk about them. They talk about them. And that's what we do. We talk to our mountain. And if it's nervousness, we say we are going to replace it. We are now energized. All right, ready for your next word? Okay, how many of you have said this? And I want the truth. How many of you have said, I am so stressed out? How many? Okay, I heard a 4-year-old say it the other day. Y'all, I looked at this little boy, I said, what did you do, lose your G.I. Joe? He said, no, my mama's stressed out, so I'm stressed out too. Okay, do you think they're not listening? All these little people are listening. People are listening to you when you don't even know it. We have got to change the way we view this and the way we say this. Here is your new word. You are not stressed out. You are blessed out. If you woke up above ground without a chalk line around your body today, you are blessed. You woke up in the United States of America today. You are blessed. You are in Louisville today with LTD, with the greatest business in the world. You are blessed. So let's quit getting stressed out and let's get blessed out. I better get an amen on that one. Thank you. Everybody say, I am blessed out. So when somebody asks you how you're doing tomorrow, you say, I am blessed out. I am blessed and highly favored. I am blessed. and I am energized. Okay, here's the next one. How many of you have ever felt like this? And I know that if you're still working a day job and you're working the business and building this future for you and your family, you know, guys, I want to remind you of this. I am so proud of you because even if you're in the business part-time, you're already mentally in full-time. And that's what counts. And that is what counts, and you know where you're going. But there are times in our lives, and I travel all the time doing this in a different city, in a different time zone. I was coming here today going, oh, Lord, what time is it? I don't know what time zone I'm in. And some days I feel overwhelmed. How many of you have ever felt overwhelmed? Like, get your hands in the air. Okay, how does that feel? It feels heavy. It feels like somebody's pushing down on us. And you know what? I was feeling that. I had to grab one of my own CDs and put it in my car. I was like, I better listen to myself today. Because it was one of those days my house looked like a bomb went off. Girls, I've decided that dust is a protective covering. I don't know about you. That's what I've decided. I'm going to do what I've been called to do, and I'm going to hire somebody else to do the rest. How about that? Anyway, there are days I feel overwhelmed, and my fabulous husband, Rob, who's with me, and you'll see him at my table, we have so much going on. And one day I just took a step back, and I said, what is wrong with me? I am not overwhelmed. I am in demand. Isn't that good? If you're going to be on this stage as a leader, guess what? You're going to be in demand. And you know what? We do not get to complain about what we permit. So everything that you have on your schedule, you have put it there. You do not get to complain about what you permit. We need to be excited about being in demand. It means we're moving forward. We're getting closer. Do you want to be in demand? Say it. Yes, coach. All right. And you know what? That means that you're going to be building this business at a fast pace. And you're going to be in demand. But you know what? It's so great on the other side. You know, these championship qualities sound so easy, don't they? Take control of your attitude. Take control of your language. Go 24 hours without saying one negative word. Tomorrow, say good morning, gorgeous to everybody. To everybody. Call somebody tomorrow and say, good morning, champion. Good morning, gorgeous. I shared that a few weeks ago with a group. The second day, I said, y'all, did you call somebody and say, good morning, champion, or good morning, gorgeous? This girl raised her hand. She said, Dale, I texted my girlfriend this morning and said, good morning, gorgeous. It's 8 o'clock. She texts back, what is wrong with you? Are you drinking this early? You know why? Because negative is normal. Negative is normal. Turn on the news. Negative is normal. We are different and we are unique. And we need to celebrate that, not apologize for it. Celebrate it. Okay, now look, I write books, and we've done a fabulous package for you guys. I have a couple of CDs and a book and a really fabulous package for you guys. Come by and see me. Get your postcard. Sign up for Motivational Monday. I will be like Lauren here the entire weekend. Come talk to me. Got to hug my neck, though, because in the South, we believe if it's moving, hug it. If it ain't, sell it. Okay? So I do a lot of hugging. But one day, this was probably, I don't know how many years ago. Well, let's see. Nick's 25, so he was 10. Now, remember, I've been teaching Nick every day. It's his choice. Nick, if you get in trouble, you chose it. Nick, if you do this, you chose it. Your attitude is your choice. It's your choice. It's your choice. It's your choice. One day, he rolled into my kitchen on a pair of roller skates doing pageant waves and hockey moves at the same time. He was on my nerves. And guess what? Everything I just told you not to do, I was doing. I was angry, I was nervous, I was upset, I was all of it. So I looked at him like only a mother can do. The look that says, you've just taken your last breath in my kitchen. I know, I love him. I looked at him and I said, Nick Thomas, done. We're done here. Get out of my kitchen. Get out now. Nick rolled back on his skates. He propped himself up on my counter. And with love in his eyes, he said, Hey, Mom, you don't have to let my actions affect your attitude. I said, stop listening to my tapes. He looked at me and said, Mama, is that not what you're going to teach him tomorrow? I looked at him like, what? Y'all, I never said that. How many of you have ever allowed someone else's actions to affect your attitude? Get your hands in the air. Yes. And as my friend Dr. Phil says, how's that working for you? You see, when you let somebody else's actions affect your attitude, you give them your power. And let me tell you this right now. Nobody's opinion of you is your business. Nobody's opinion of your business is your business. If they don't like your business, so what? And you know what? Stop letting people steal your joy. Many of you out on an interstate will let some stranger take your joy and go to work with it. And y'all talk about it all day. That guy that cut me off in traffic, you don't even know his name. So stop giving up your joy. Take it back. Nobody's actions should affect your attitude. Do you agree with that? Say, yes, Coach. All right. Oh, I got to roll. Okay. Next, attitude, language. Next, champions have a game plan. How many of you have your goals actually written down on a piece of paper? And I always love asking in this group, if you have your goals written down, get your hands in the air. Look around you and give yourselves a hand. That's awesome. I ask that question in so many organizations around the world. Half the time, it's only a very few people. Do you realize how blessed you are already? The skills that you are already learning to change your life? Let me tell you this. No champion goes into a game without a game plan. I'm a big football fan. I am. I love football. And I live in Nashville. I don't think the Tennessee Titans walk out there and go, let's throw that ball around. We don't care. We don't have a plan. Let's just play. No, they have a plan. And let me tell you this. You have to begin with the end in mind. You have to begin with the end in mind, just like you're building a house. When you build a house, what comes first? Really, the foundation. Really? No, it's a house plan. I would love for you to go to the builder and say, get busy, son, pour me a foundation. They're going to ask you for a plan. What is the plan for your life? Let me tell you this. You need to write this down. The what must come before the how. You have to know what you want. What do you want in this business? You've already got the how. You've got the greatest vehicle in the world and the greatest products in the world. Most people are still trying to figure out how. That's how you come in. Now, you just have to decide what and go for it. Go for it. And you know what? Every single dream starts like that. What do you want? I want you to think about this. There's an entire economy in Central Florida and in California based on one man's dream. Who is that? Walt Disney. Can you imagine the day that Walt Disney sat down with the bankers and said, hey, y'all. I don't think he said y'all, but I like it like that. Hey, y'all. I am going to build $1 billion empire based on a mouse and a fairy and 7 dwarfs. Will you help me? And you think you have it tough, really? Well, the day that Epcot Center opened in Florida, Walt Disney had passed away. Roy Disney was still alive. And the reporter ran out to Roy, and he said this must be a really bittersweet day for you. You must be so excited because Walt's dream has come true, but you must be so sad because he didn't get to see it. Without hesitation, Roy Disney looked this reporter in the eye and said, he did see it. That's why you get to see it. Oh, yeah. Do you feel it? Did you feel it? I'm telling you, the spirit of Walt Disney just came through this place. And he is in good company tonight with the dreamers of the world. He's in good company tonight. So what do you want? During the time that Nick was on a roll telling me that his actions didn't have to affect my attitude, I was going through a difficult time in my life, and I was trying to teach Nick how to set goals and dreams. And I had a car that I couldn't afford but that I wanted, and it was just silly, but I wanted it. So I decided to go out and visit my car, okay? I couldn't buy the car, but I could visit my car. We call that dream building. And I would go out there and I'd get my picture in the car because I needed it on my refrigerator. Well, about that time, I kept saying, Nick, you have to have some goals. You have to have some dreams. He was 10. He came into the house one day so excited. He goes, Mom, I have my goals. Oh, I was so proud. I just knew it was going to say, be nice to your mama. And make A's in school. Not so much. It said dirt bike 100 times. And that is all it said. Have y'all figured this out yet? The kids have got it. The mother of all skill is repetition. You learn how to build this business and share this opportunity. You repeat, 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 repeat. That's how champions are born. They repeat. Well, I looked at Nick with a sweet mama look, and I said, you're not getting a dirt bike because I am your mama and I love you. He said, then fine, I'll dream till I'm 18 then. On my last nerve. So one of those days when I was going to visit my Lexus that I couldn't afford, and every time I went to the Lexus dealership, the guy said, hey, can I help you? And I said, I'm here to look at a Lexus. He said, I'm here to sell you one. I said, you missed a little word. I said, look. I said, I don't have a checkbook, but I do have a camera, and I need you to make my picture. And he was like, what? But you know what, y'all? I had to see it. You've got to see it. You've got to see yourself on this stage. You have got to visualize this. You have got to start living this dream now and act like the diamond you want to be. You have to have that diamond spirit coming from within. Champions are built from within, not out here, in here. And then it comes out here. Well, it was one of those days we're at the Lexus dealership, and as we're leaving the Lexus dealership, Nick looks at me, says, hey, Mom, we're going to need to run on by the Honda dealership on our way home. Okay, y'all got that. I didn't. I said, why do we need to go to the Honda dealership? He said, to get my picture on that bike. I said, I've told you you're not getting that bike. He goes, Mom, you don't have that car yet either. What do you say? I had to take him and get the picture made on the bike. I mean, what am I going to say? This is my dream. This can't be yours. I just kept saying, but Nick, you're not getting this till you're 18. He goes, fine. I'm going to dream till I'm 18. So, you know what? That's the last point I'm going to make with you guys. Kids have got it, y'all. They've got courage. And you know what the word no means to Nick Thomas? Ask again. Isn't that what it means to kids? Where have we lost this? We take no as personal. Oh, they tell me no. They don't want to be a part of this. Okay, fine, next, right? We just have to keep asking because the kids have got it. They ask 4 ways, and you need to write this down. Kids ask clearly. They ask clearly for what they want. They don't come in and say, I think I might want. Kids come in and they ask confidently. You need to ask confidently about who you want to be part of your business. You need to ask confidently because that is a magnet to draw people to you. They ask consistently. Kids ask consistently. And then they ask creatively. So let's do that one more time. They ask clearly, confidently, consistently, and creatively. This one came back to get me, I have to tell you. About 6 months after Nick and I had been wandering around the Honda dealership and the Lexus dealership, I was speaking for an event very similar to this down in Memphis, Tennessee. It was a weekend just like we're having this weekend. I was speaking with many of my heroes. I think there were 15,000 people there that weekend. And on Sunday morning, just like you're going to do, and we'll all be here Sunday morning, there was a church service on Sunday morning. Nick was all excited. We were sitting down front. I was sitting there with the Diamonds and Nick. And this particular service, They were doing the Passion Play, where they act out the Bible from the birth to the resurrection. Nick is sitting down front because there was camels and donkeys and all kinds of stuff flying in the air, and he was so psyched. Think about creatively as I tell you this story. About halfway through the play, Jesus walked out to the side of the stage and held his arms out and said, "You can have anything if you will just ask it in my name." 10-year-old Nick Thomas, sitting right where you are, jumped straight to his feet. He threw his arms in the sky, and in a voice loud enough for God in heaven to hear him, he screams to the stage, "Dear Jesus, please let my mama and daddy get me a motorcycle for Christmas. Thank you. Amen." The diamonds that are sitting next to me looked at me and went, "Oh, you taught him well." I'm like, "Shh." Okay, I've got him by the collar. You've done it in church. I had him pulling him to the seat. I have now become a ventriloquist because I am threatening death, but I'm smiling because everybody's looking. And I looked at him and I said, "Nick Thomas, you better sit down and be quiet." He looked at me without missing a beat. He goes, "Mama, Jesus said anything." Guess what Nick got for Christmas? A Bible. No! What am I going to say? Jesus can't come through either? 25-year-old Nick Thomas is a race car driver. He's in a little sport called drifting. Do you know this? Yes. Nick drove the amateur circuit for the last 2 years. You have to compete in the amateur circuit to get so many points to get to Formula Drift, to get a license. Last fall, Nick was on the amateur circuit, missed going to Formula D by 1 point because his car went down the last 3 races. What I didn't know is that last November, Nick Thomas put a petition together with all of his video and all of his stats, and he petitioned Formula Drift. They didn't respond, so he sent it again in January and said, "You are a professional organization. I feel like it would be professional if you would say yes or no." He got an email back and said, "Nick, we're so sorry. We didn't see your packet until right now. Welcome to Formula D." Nick is one of 64 in the world driving this series because he asked. Nick is no different than any one of you. What are you going to ask for? How big are you going to dream in 2012 and beyond? I've got one quick story, and I can't tell you the whole story. If you decide to pick up my stuff, you can hear the full story. But my life changed when I was a teenager. Because my parents, I was so shy and so insecure. I couldn't dream. I didn't know anything about that. They put me in piano lessons with a young woman in the neighboring county. She lived on a dirt road just like I did. But she was different. At age 11, she had been in a tragic car accident with her family. The motor had come in and crushed her left leg. And the doctors told her she would never walk again. Those are the words she heard. But because she had a championship spirit, because she had a big faith and a big belief, at 11 years old, she chose something different. And miraculously, when they cut that cast off, that young woman could walk. When I came into her life, she was still handicapped because of this accident. She told me every day, "Dale, you've got to focus forward. You've got to be a champion from within. One day, something miraculous is going to continue to happen in my life. I'm going to be able to walk with 2 legs the same length. 5 years later, she was miraculously healed. And a few years after that, she walked the runway in Atlantic City, New Jersey as Miss America. That's what champions are made of. And you know, as I stood back and I watched her, we are 2 dirt poor little girls from Mississippi who just dared to dream. When she was 5 years old, the milkman came into her house and patted her on the head and said, "One day, little lady, you will be Miss America." He didn't live long enough to see that happen, but I believe he was an angel sent from heaven to deliver hope to this little girl. Now, let me tell you what hope is, because you're just not in this business. You're not just building a business. Guess what you are? You're a hope dealer. And let me tell you what hope is. It's helping other people excel. And if you will focus on helping other people excel in this business, helping them excel to be champions from the inside out, you will not only build a business, you will build a legacy. You have to plant the seeds, and I shared this with some of my friends that came by the table earlier. It's your job to plant, to invite, to share, and then you just have to keep walking. Winning is a choice. Becoming a champion is a choice. Make that choice and go forward. And I know that you are winners by choice. Am I right? Say it for me one more time. All right, in the words of the famous Mississippian that I love so much, Zig Ziglar, I'll see you guys at the top. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dale Smith Thomas. Let's have a nice round of applause once again for Ms. Thomas and for all of our speakers here this evening.